Assalamualaikum and hi. Today we would like to present about our qualitative research design. Subtopic is grounded theory. Before we will proceed to our presentations, I would like to introduce myself and my group members. My name is Nur Shazal binti Badru Isham. My metric number is 1898006. Other my group member is Nur Izzah binti Mama Yunus. Metric number 1966795. Another one is Siti Rahia binti Abrar. Metric number is 1996009. So I will proceed to Kak Siti Rahia for the next slide.
Okay, we start with what is a grounded theory. Grounded theory refers to a set of systematic inductive methods for conducting qualitative research aimed toward theory development. A grounded theory design is a systematic qualitative procedure used to generate a theory that explains at a broad conceptual level a process and action or an interaction about substantive topic, according to Creswell 2008. And then the phrase grounded theory refers to theory that is developed inductively from corpus of data. Grounded theory is the most common, widely used, and popular analytic technique in qualitative analysis. And the evidence is the number of books published on it, according to Gibbs 2010. And two sociologists, Barney G. Glasser and Anselm L. Strauss, developed grounded theory in the late 1960s. Okay, next. Okay, I will explain when to use the grounded theory research design. When we need a broad theory or explanation of process, and especially it will helpful when current theories about a phenomenon are either inadequate or non-exist, according to Creswell. And to study some process, such as how students develop as writers, according to Neff 1998, or how high achieving African American and Caucasian women's career develop. Okay, next I will pass to Izzah.
So I will proceed with the types of grounded theory. The first is the systematic design by Strauss and Corbin, 1998. It is a systematic design in grounded theory that emphasizes the use of data analysis steps of open, axial, and selective coding, and the development of a logic paradigm or a visual picture of the theory generated. In this definition, three phases of coding exist. First is open coding, when you take your textual data and break it up into discrete parts. Second is axial coding, when you draw connections between your codes. And the third phase is selective coding, when you select one central category that connects all the codes from your analysis and captures the essence of your research. To explain more about the open coding, it is a process of reducing data to a small set of things that appear to describe the phenomenon under investigation. First, we will invite the data into segments and then scrutinize for commonalities that reflects categories or themes, and then further examine for properties that characterize each category. For Excel coding, group the discrete codes according to conceptual categories that reflects commonalities among codes. Strauss and Corby 1998 refer to this as Excel coding, reflecting the idea of clustering the open codes around specific axes or points of intersection. When engaging in categorizing or Excel coding, these properties are being identified through the interpretive lens of the researcher, which is beginning to abstract meaning from the data. Selective coding uh, from Strauss and Corby 1998. They refer to the third analytic level as selective coding, which means that at this point, the researcher treats the various code clusters in a selective fashion, deciding how they relate to each other and what stories they tell. Thus, the analyst construct a set of relational statements that can be used to explain in general sense what is going on. The second type of grounded theory is emerging design, which is from Glasser 1992. Uh, Glasser stresses the importance of letting theory emerge from the data rather than using specific present categories. And the third type is constructive approach by Charmes 1990, 2000, and 2006. It focuses on the importance of meaning individuals attribute to the focus of the study. Applying active codes, the researcher looks at the participants' thought, feeling, values, viewpoints, assertions, etc., rather than gathering facts and describing facts. The process of grounded theory, according to Bernard H.R. 2000, the grounded theory process is deceptively simple. First, we need to produce the transcripts of interviews and read through a small sample of text. Second, we need to identify potential analytic categories, which is potential themes that arise. Third, as the categories emerge, we need to pull together all the data from those categories and compare. Next, we need to consider how categories are linked together. Then we need to use the relations among categories to build theoretical models, constantly checking the models against data, especially against negative cases. And the final stage is present the results of the analysis using codes from the interviews that illuminate the theory, which we call exemplars. The data collection methods is uh, we need to read a textual database and discover all label variables, which is, for example, categories, concepts, and properties, and their interrelationships. And the data do not have to be literally textual. We can use observations of behavior, which is interactions and events in a restaurant, and it is usually in the form of field notes. The field notes is like a diary. So when we observe something, we write it in the field notes. And the example of the methods is interview participants with open-ended questions, observation, which is fieldwork or focus group, study of artifacts and text, and also video tips. That's all from me.
So I will proceed to the strength of grounded theory. Grounded theory is text. Actually, the text researcher perspective into account in the research process. Grounded theory study people experience, more to people experience, and it get generate a theory of how that theory works. Second strength is to produce theory with details informations. In the grounded theory are conduct step by step, starting from we are collecting data, identify the problem and the solutions, and lastly we develop the theory. The third one is provide systematic methodology for researcher by using the systematic design according to Stowers and Corbin 1998. From the systematic design, it consists of open coding, axial coding, and selective coding that Iza present just now. The last one is strength for grounded theory is data collected from the experience, not from the other sources like textbooks or researcher or opinion. The data that collect, they are totally from experience, not from the other sources like just mentioned before this textbooks or researcher or opinions or researcher opinions. So the next is our the limitation of group of grounded theory. The first limitation for grounded theory is freedom and flexibility will contribute to potential harm in grounded theory. In terms of data and validity, it actually can lead to the bias for the researcher while doing this grounded theory. The second one, while doing grounded theory, we need a long time to gather data because we are taking time to gather information to collecting data from the participant. The next limitation is the analysis might be too complex and difficult for novice researcher. Grounded theory is difficult to novice, but for the expertise researcher, it can be more easily than the novice researcher because expertise know the how to conduct the grounded theory and the how to solve the problem while the problem that faces while conduct this grounded theory. The last one is there is a risk that grounded theories fail to develop a solid theory after interpreting data because sometimes the data that we collect are not enough or not suitable for our studies. So that's all for our groups for grounded theory. So thank you.